know. It's a gut feeling.
Yeah.
And,
Totally.
and it is just what it is. All right, so now we're going to go on to our next segment, which you being a listener,
Yeah.
I don't have to explain it to you, but in case there's any first-time listeners here, this is our segment called Plug or Unplug.
Let's go. I know none of these plugins. Unless they're audio thing.
Right. I know. I don't have any audio thing ones on here.
No, that's okay. I just talked about it for so long.
But this is where you give your quick take on gear or plugins. Plug if you love it. Unplug if it's not for you. Bypass or make inactive if you haven't heard of it. And I can talk a little bit about it. So first plugin is the Waves Abbey Road plates.
I've never used that. So bypass. I am a devout user of the Sound Toys plate. Sorry, that's a plate reverb, obviously.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. The Sound Toys plate reverb.
Like the little
is
plate.
Like,
yeah.
I should have mentioned that when talking about verbs that I like,
Yeah.
because I love that for an acoustic guitar. And actually, that's what the reverb is on the Empire main guitar.
There you
is
go.
the plate verb.
It's a plate verb.
Mixed in on just on one side, whatever.
Yeah.
Classic. So I've never used that because I'm just so happy with my
Your plate verb.
go-to plate verb. Do you like it?
Oh, I use that all
Yeah?
the time. I just, the one thing that I don't like about it, which like sometimes is a good thing, I like to be in control of my pre-delay.
Yeah.
And that's my only complaint about it.
Yeah.
And I've been waiting now for 7 years
Yeah.
for them to make a big plate,
Yeah.
which like I never understood. Where it's my one complaint about Sound Toys. Like guys, like what did we?
Yeah.
Why'd you make a little plate? Because they said they were like going to make another bigger
really?
version. Yeah.
Maybe just because they're like probably the most popular, like the most successful plugin bundle ever. They're just like, we don't need to change anything.
I mean
ever.
they just updated. They haven't released a new plugin in years.
Yeah.
Which is great. Like to think I've been producing long enough where Sound Toys was releasing new plugins.
So funny.
Yeah.
I was thinking for a second there, you were talking about why you don't like the Abbey Road. You're saying you don't like the Sound Toys one because you can't do the pre-delay.
Yeah. But
That
I love how it sounds.
Yeah.
But then there is ways to do pre-delays where it's like you can put a a delay
you just use
thing
an actual
before it.
delay.
It's just
Yeah,
like, all right,
it's
that's
a pain in the
another
ass.
fucking step.
Yeah.
Just put it on there. Moving on. The next one is pretty widely used plugin here. Fab Filter Saturn 2.
I've never used it.
Oh, it's great. It's fun.
What does it do?
It's multi-band saturation.
Okay, cool. I don't do multi-band anything except for EQing, I guess.
Right. It's just I can choose what band I want
Okay.
to saturate, and I can saturate the mids more with a tape thing. You know, it's like all the Fab Filter plugins, they can get like underneath the hood, they're like very complex.
Yeah.
But they're pretty easy to use at the same time. But like you can do cool things with dynamics in it too.
Okay.
And I don't know, it's kind of like a plugin that I used to reach for a lot more.
Yeah.
But I use it in like a mixing sense where it's like, I want to bring out some more mids.
Yeah.
And
I
so-
mean, I should try it because like it's obviously I've heard of it a
Yeah.
ton and it's Fab Filter.
Yeah.
Which is like
All their plugins they're always good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I use obviously they're like the EQ. I use the EQ.
Yeah,
that
everyone
I use,
uses the
but I
EQ.
think that's the only and the limiter. But those are the only two Fab Filter ones that I use.
This next one I was curious if you ever used because like of your like bedroom background. A lot of people's very first mic, the Rode NT1.
I've never used that. I hadn't heard about it until you guys talked about it on this podcast.
Yeah. Well, what was like your first mic that you bought? Was it an SM7? Or
No,
like,
it wasn't. It was the my parents got it for me for Christmas. Common theme.
Yeah.
Is the Audio Technica like AT
the
2020 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Also famously used by Billie
Billie
Eilish.
Eilish in the first.
And I actually really like that. I'm like I've since gifted it back to my dad to use.
Oh, that.
But that served me well. That was like any live recording that I did on any Pavu stuff or like Eyes Blue, like the Atlantic or even That Boy With You record is all on an AT
Crazy.
2020.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've never used the Rode one.
The next one, another pretty widely used plugin. No, you definitely have. Sound Toys Little Altar Boy.
Yes, I use it all the way.
Do you use it a lot? On,
Yes, I use it mainly to make mainly for to make BGVs like less in your
Like
face
his-
and less crowded. Just turn the formant.
Yeah.
Forgot what it was called for a second. Just down a little bit, make them a little deeper.
Yeah.
I'm never using it to do like the black bear effect.
Yeah. I think that
But-
kind of thing has got played out. It's like
Using it as like a in your face like stylistic thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time I heard it, I was like, "This is the craziest thing ever." How they're doing that? But I'm a fan. It just makes everything laggy.
Yeah.
So I try to not use it too much.
You ever use it in unconventional ways?
I try to a lot because like
Yeah.
obviously you get like the weird like phasey like
glitchy
just
things.
like artifacty shit.
Yeah.
But and I'm always thinking it'll be cool if I put it on like polyphonic like instrument and it just always is terrible.
No, it only works like I'll do it on guitars sometimes where it's if I'm playing like single notes and I can like turn the formant down.
Yeah.
But like anytime I try to do something like I'm like, oh, put altar boy, that'd be cool. It's like nah.
It just sounds like such digital mush.
Like trash.
Yeah.
But then, it's like 1 out of 100 times you get that cool artifact.
Right, exactly.
You're like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really glad I got that.
Yeah.
Next one, which I'm sure you know what it is already because it's the one I ask on everyone.
Yep.
CLA vocals.
Dude, I brick so hard. So I've never used CLA vocals before. I'd never even really heard, like I'd heard of it, but not really until you start talking about it on the podcast, which is funny because I guess everyone else has except for me. Yeah. And on the way over, I was like, oh, fuck, because I meant to try it before coming over. So I was like, actually, I would have had time because the Uber took so long. Yeah. I tried to go download it and try for 20 minutes while I was sitting in the back of the car, but I didn't. I didn't. And so I've never used it. I like the idea of it, but everybody dumps on it, obviously. So,
but that's the thing. It is so 50-50. I'm telling you, it's like the people who hate on it hard.
Yeah.
And I just had, Diamond Pistols. Yeah. He was just here last week, and I fucking love that thing.
Yeah.
I use it all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's again, we talk about CLA vocals on every single episode. I'm not going to go like too deep in it, but I'd be so curious if you like use it next week and like text me. Yeah. I'd be like, this thing fucking sucks. Or like,
I'll have to, I am going to do that just to,
because I don't know what it's about.
I need to know because everybody talks about how specific of a sound it is.
Yeah.
I guess, because why? Is like the verb really?
No, it's not the verb. It's well, there's the one preset that is very popular called the face-to-face dry.
Okay. Face-to-face dry.
Yeah. And it's mostly the EQ it's doing to it and the compression.
Okay.
That's the sound of CLA vocals. Like most people like aren't really using the verb and whatever on it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like that part of it where that's the CLA sound.
Okay.
And you either love it or you hate it. But again, it's also been on a ton of huge records.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite records I know for a fact it was on.
Yeah.
And I don't use it that much anymore.
Yeah. Just what immediately like popifies the vocal?
It just immediately hypes it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this is what it is. And it's, I'll only use it if I'm like doing like I don't do it as much anymore, but like EDM top lining. And it's okay, I need that vocal to be fucking up front and hype.
Yeah. I mean, if that's what it is, then there's nothing that I'm working on at the moment that needs that. Yeah. So I probably will hate it. I'm sure you're so tired of talking about this plugin.
No. I love the controversy around it.
Yeah.
So it's so fun. Okay. Last plugin is for our listeners, it's one that very, very, even though I'll give you a lot of pretty popular plugins this week, but usually very popular plugin, Soothe 2.
I use Soothe a lot.
Yeah.
It's not like a savior for me. Like a lot of people talk about it as like, it's like, oh, now I don't have to EQ anymore. Like it's definitely not the case. I use it. And also, again, takes it on a DSP.
Right.
I think. It makes it laggy when I use it.
No, it's DSP heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I use it. I like the Pensado vocal start preset to get a little of the mids out.
Yeah.
But I always turn the depth or whatever like way down. And I like it I like the D-boom. They could honestly they're like and I just use them based on what they're called.
Right.
Like the D-boom or like the warm. I like to use the percussive or the way too what's it called? The guitar too percussive.
Yeah. I know.
Whatever.
Yeah.
On not guitars, like I use it on like ukuleles, like mandolins.
Oh, okay.
And I like the piano like enhancer one.
Yeah.
And then also the synth, the preset, that one resonance.
Yep.
I use that actually probably the most because it actually just gets that one resonance every single time.
It gets it out.
And the synth too much mids. That's what I like in Soothe too.
Right.
But I'm using it probably like 3 times on any given project. I'm not putting it on every track.
Are you not like, because you've been talking about DSP, like, are you not like a committer? You like to.
No, I'm the opposite. I'm like, dude, that Dean project, I sort of had to, like the Empire, I sort of had to like just become a committer because it was so massive. And like, even having committed everything I possibly could, it was still like, by the time I was done, like I literally couldn't play the project through. Yeah. Because you can't commit groups in Ableton, which is like literally, I see in all the comments on their stuff being like, you need to,
why can't I commit
the biggest
this group?
issue of the entire thing.
Yeah.
And because all of it is just groups of vocal stacks, I just can't commit any of
Right.
it. Anyway, not a big committer, but also never look at the DSP of plugins. So I actually don't know which plugins use a lot of DSP or not. My computer usually just runs it fine.
Right.
But yeah, are you a big committer?
I am, but and this is my one big complaint about Ableton, because my workflow, our listeners probably know about it at this point. Like, I start in Ableton, then I finish in Pro Tools.
Okay.
My biggest complaint about Ableton is what I love about Pro Tools is that I can commit a track, but then I can still keep the original track and hide it and make it inactive.
Right.
So it's still there.
Right.
If I
so just
ever
for that little voice in the back of your head. Being
right,
like, what if
if I
it?
ever do need to go back,
Yeah.
I can. So it's like I can commit like all my auto tunes. I can commit all the things that like I know take up a lot of DSP.
Yeah.
And also I just like committing because I like to work with audio, especially I love printing like verbs and stuff down so I can like manipulate from there. But yeah, that's like my one thing that like I don't know if Ableton will ever do it because it's just architecture is not set up.
Yeah.
Like how Pro Tools is.
Right.
Where it's like I can commit something and like then whatever. Because like you can freeze stuff.
Yeah.
But it's still not exactly
no
the same. But
you can't even freeze a group.
No, right, which is insane to me.
It's so annoying.
Like I'm sure they're working on it. I'm sure they're going to do it eventually. But
I'm sure there's a reason that they can't. Like I'm sure there's a very because obviously they know that we'd like to be able to do that. I'm sure there's like a fundamental reason that they can't.
Right. It's just how the architecture is made. Like funny enough, bringing up on like Pluto again, he was like friends with someone who was like on the Ableton team, and he like brought up a couple things. He's like, if we do those things, we have to completely rewrite the architecture. Of Ableton, and they're like, that's a lot of work. Yeah. And it's, but maybe do it.
Yeah. Please.
Like, I don't know. Yeah. Like, maybe try and do that. Okay, well, that's it for Plug or Unplug. Dude.
I just want like 1 for 6. Unplug or Unplug.
Dude, it happens all the time because I'm like because like I'm trying not to repeat too many plugins. I have to get like more and more like obscure. And you'd be like, there are so many. I've had a couple producers where it's just like, they just like don't use plugins.
Yeah. The Bendick Moeller one, I think.
Yeah.
Ben might have gone
Bendick got none of them. Yeah. And I was like, all right, bud. Like, I guess
sounds great.
Yeah.
Sounds all good.
That's why I was like, at least I know what they are. So I can inform the listener.